Joy Victor is a people person. I like to say I have done too many things to say that, oh, I'm not, but everything points out that that's who I am, and
Mm.
I have decided not to run away from it. Joy Victor is a human resource professional, and Joy Victor is somebody who is very keen about business. So, Joy Victor has now diversified or turned towards the business management angle of the human resources. So, I'm more of a consultant for business management. In as much as I still do my core HR, however, I have tended more towards that business management HR partner. I'm not
Mm.
your HR partner in your business. Um, I am an entrepreneur, so I run my own businesses as well.
Okay.
Um, I also help people start up their own businesses. So
Okay.
I pride myself, I call myself your number one cheerleader. So if you're looking for who to cheer you up to start up, you're looking for who to be your cheerleader to cheer you up to your goals, to your career, to what you want to be, you don't even know where to start, Joy Victor is the person to talk to.
Hmm.
I can speak to you and I can tell you, okay, this is what you should do. Give you different ideas. Me looking at you and answering some basic questions. I can tell you your strength and this is the business you should be looking at. And if I do that for you, I'm going to hold your hands and okay, these are the things you should be looking at startup. What do you have at hand? Structures, systems.
Hmm.
That is who I am. And I'm the founder of the Unique Life Foundation, which you already know. So that's the aspect of my, well, everything I was talking about myself somewhere, and the person that I was talking to said that means everything about you actually centers around human beings, and that's
Hmm.
true.
Hmm.
So I'm also passionate about people, so that's why the Unique Life Foundation came up. Although that was my own experience, but I felt if this happened to me, I wonder the effects for other people. And that actually spurred my passion into action to create awareness, to talk to people about what they don't know and is critical. And that's me. I love to see people succeed. I love to see people. So I want to start doing this. I'm your number one cheerleader. So I love to see people succeed. I can do anything within my purview to see
Right.
how to make people
So,
succeed.
Joy,
Yeah,
it's
I'm a
it's
good
it's
team
okay
member.
for me to say that the Unique Life Foundation is not a full-time commitment, is it?
Um, no, it's a full-time commitment. It
Okay.
is a full-time commitment because the Unique Life Foundation is there's no part-time.
Right.
I mean it's
Right.
full-time.
Right.
Yeah, it's
So
full-time.
it's a full-time thing, right?
Yes, it's a full-time thing.
Okay. Let's get to know about the Unique Life Foundation.
Okay. So the Unilike Foundation, just like you said, is a non-profit organization. And basically what we do is to empower communities, you know, specifically women. I like to say that, but is everybody. So let me say empower communities with access to comprehensive health information, resources, and support. Right. Our thematic area is maternal health, newborn, female sexual reproductive health and blood disorder management. These are automatic areas. I would like to say that one of the things that spur up this foundation was my experience. I like to say it's everywhere. And if you don't mind, I can share just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, 2011, I worked with Airtel, then Zain, and graciously they offered to give the whole employees go and do a test and do a general test, get to know about yourself. Just general blood test and check if there's anything. Just general. It was part of our medical insurance and all that. So I did. And that day was actually my first day doing a blood test to know my blood group, to know my genotype, just to know generally. If I did when I was young, I don't know, but that was the first time I did it and I'm self-aware of what I did. So after my result came out, they said, okay, that I'm O negative. Now, why that struck something to me was because before then, while I was in the university, I was always putting on my ID card, everything that I'm O positive. I'm O positive. And that's because my both parents are O positive. So I was like, okay, if they are positive, of course I'm positive. There's no, um, it can't be different.
Mm.
However, the result came out that I'm O negative. Right. So I asked the doctor, are you sure? He said yes. I insisted for a second test that I don't think so. My both parents are positive. And graciously they accepted. And in fact, I was in the lab
Mm.
and it showed me why it's negative. But that was the first time, I'm very inquisitive. And it showed me. So I now said, okay, that's no, okay. So, but why? What is the effect? What is the impact? Is there anything wrong with me? Why am I negative? The doctor was just like that. No, it's a normal kind of blood group. There's nothing wrong. And I said, do you know? I had to call my mom. I just ran a test. I was panicking that my blood is my oh negative. How come? You won't believe my mom was also panicking that she doesn't know as if it was an issue. My mom was felt a bit Abi, what are you trying to insinuate? You know, the doctor now said I should ask my mom. This is the response the doctor gave me that have I had any blood transfusion before in my life? I said no. He said I should ask my mom if I've had any blood transfusion. I had to call my mom on the phone if I've had any blood transfusion. She said no. She said no. And what all this? He asked me if I've had a baby and had a miscarriage or abortion before. I said no. But this doctor didn't educate me about um, my own negative. So negative is, those negative and positive is the rhesus factor of your blood group. So in case. So she didn't educate me, and I was just ranting everywhere, going up and down, disturbing my mother everywhere, and my mother was also confused. She said, no, I didn't and all that. So I came back to the doctor and said, this is the response. And he said, okay, nothing really. It's just that there's something you need to do when you take him. This was his response. I was like, tell me, do you know I followed him up for 2 days because he was the doctor in-house that conducted the test.
Mm.
So I now on my own, because of what he said, I went on my own to read about negative. And I found out about it. I was like, for me, this is worse than HIV.
Mm.
And why is it worse than HIV? It's worse than HIV because a simple awareness, just knowing this can save a lot of people. What is the effect? If you are O negative, you need to understand that when you take in your first pregnancy, especially when your partner is O positive, which is about 80 to 85% of the population. When you take in within 72 hours after you put to bed, or after you have a miscarriage, or after you have an abortion, you must take an injection called anti-D hemoglobin injection. This injection, if you don't take it within 72 hours, the chances that all other subsequent pregnancies are going to be miscarry, you're going to miscarry. As in, there's no, according to the medical, let me put it, I always like putting it that way, according to medicine, according to medical education
Terms, right.
terms, you are not going to have baby again. As in,
Mm.
every conception is going to be, you're going to miscarry. It's
Mm.
not, but why? Because your blood and the blood of the baby you see it as a foreign body and you're going to fight it. And that's why we have a lot of miscarriages and you don't know why. And they call it village people.
Mm.
I don't know if okay, if you're Igbo, they said, they call, Orinwa. Have you heard of it? That you always take in, but you eat your baby
Mm.
because always miscarry, So that's actually, it has a medical term for it, but because we do not know and you keep having miscarriage and they term it something else. So this is the impact of rhesus factor, negative rhesus factor,
Right.
all rhesus factors. So if you're a female and you have this, your blood group is the negative rhesus factor, you need to know this. I'm going to tell you our first beneficiary, a girl of 17 years old. Thank God that was the period I started, talking about people. Anytime I see people, I start talking about, do you know about this? Do you know about, and funny thing is that all, I don't want to say all, but 95% of even the medical people, they don't know. Or
Mm.
is it that they know they just like maybe is a dark area, you know? And I asked going to say, because the population is this. Anyway, let me go back to my first beneficiary to see how the impact of this. She's a 17-year-old girl that got pregnant and she doesn't know the father of her baby. They said she was raped. She didn't know the father of her baby. Now, these people are people that stay in Kabusa village in Abuja here. They barely see food to eat. And she was, when they got back to me, when they reached out to me, it was one of a matron that knows that I was running this campaign that reached out to me, or did this girl, and they don't have the money to go to the hospital. So I reached out, and she's O negative. And I told them to take her to the hospital. They found out she was O negative. Now, O negative. What if she had miscarried? What if she had aborted that baby because she doesn't want the mother to find out she was pregnant? And at that point, they didn't even know her blood group. They were not ready to go to the hospital because they don't have money to pay for hospital bills.
Mm.
So the plan was to give birth to that baby in the house and manage yourself. But I came in, I was like, no, please go to the hospital. That's how we went, confirmed all this. I gave them the first sugar injection. Now, there are times that you might have to take that injection twice, 7 months. If there's a threat, you might have to take it 28 weeks. And again, so being on the safer side, I always advise take the two, right? But if you don't have the funding and you are okay, there's no complication, you are fine, you can take it, but you must take it within 72 hours after any kind of blood mixture. That's the birth,
Right.
miscarriage, or abortion. And that was how I stepped in. Now, why is this very critical? This is critical because she was not married, and this is her first pregnancy. Two things that would have happened. One, if she had aborted it, she'd have been fine, everything would be okay. But when she gets married and she tries to take it, she'll keep miscarrying. And that's when blame start coming, not knowing it was a mistake that, kept her like this.
Mm.
Two is you can have it successfully give birth because I've seen like four people that I know personally that just have one child now because of misinformation. They're not able to have a second child. That's really what they really wanted, but they're not able to because they didn't know, they were not aware
Mm.
that if you are O negative, A negative, being any form of negative, as long as you have a negative in your blood group and you are female, you need to take this injection. So this was what happened, and that was how I started the Unique Life Foundation. After that, I lost my mom to cancer. So I'm just telling you all the stories that, you
Mhm.
know, I lost my own cancer. I was her personal giver, and I traveled with her to different to Turkey hospital and all that. So that's why we have blood incompatibility as part of our thematic areas in the Unique Life Foundation. So because this cancer and other things, had to do with blood incompatibility. It started with leukemia. It started with, the white blood, excess white blood cell, you know, so many things. And that's just how the Unique Life started. So this is my short story. And this is what gives me the passion. This is what fuels me to do what I do. And the Unique Life Foundation, one of the things we do is that we give these injections free because this is
Okay.
one of the things that make um, communities, women, when they come to the hospital and they tell them, oh, you're negative, there's an injection you need to take, and the injection is expensive, they will run. They won't come back. They'll tell you that it's God that keeps mother and baby, that God will
Mm.
keep because
Mm.
of the. So what we did that we dropped our contacts. Please, if you have any, let us know. This is it. We visit primary health care centers. We partner with them and we do this awareness. So one of the things we anchor on is tell someone to tell someone to tell somebody, So that's why I said not just in as much as it's about um mothers, female, and all that. We also want the men to know. So it's a community business. It's a community thing.
Right.
Well, the first time I found out about that I'm O negative, and the funniest thing, I was going to wed 2 months before that was my wedding. 2 months when I was supposed to wed, and I ran. I told my husband, "See what I just found out. Oh, please, in case I'm unconscious or whatever it is, as soon as I give birth, there's this injection you must hold." So it's also good everybody is aware. I said there's injection that must be given to me. So please know this. And it's interesting to know that I gave birth in a private hospital. While I put to bed, I told them, please, I need my Rogam injection. This is me knowing.
Mhm.
And I'm telling them, give me my Rogam injection. And they were all, hanky panky, okay, we're coming. Because I was under the HMO. My company sponsored me that. They were like, okay. I didn't know that they were delaying because possibly it was not covered in the HMO, you know.
Okay.
I was like, I will pay. You don't need to. This is
Mm,
very important to me. It's time bound. Give me my injection. Do you know me that I'm just telling you that me that I'm aware of this situation. I got my injection just a little bit after 48 hours. So talk more of people that don't know, people that are not aware. You didn't empower your people, the people around you with this information. You know, they can forget
mm,
because the medical people also have a lot in their head. It might just keep their mind. So one of the things we do in Like Foundation is that we empower you,
mhm,
you as a person, know this, have this information. That's why I say access to comprehensive health information is
mm.
what we do, right? And if you're unable to even afford it, reach out to us. It's either we do a full coverage or we do 50% coverage, depending on the funding, the availability of funding. So that's what we
Mm.
do in Life Foundation. These are the things that spark us to do what we do. We visit secondary schools because I believe that when you know this at a young age, it will help you. So many things are happening. When I go to school and I start talking about sex, I tell them the truth that we need to talk about it. And
Yes,
if you're going to abort, you can't keep quiet because there are people that it will happen and they will abort quietly and you don't know. So in case you're even aborting quietly, you need to know this, get this injection and take
that's
for
true.
your future, for this, for you to safeguard your future, for you to have the number of children you want to have.
Yeah, Joy,
Right.
how old is the Unique Foundation? Unique Life
So
Foundation.
Youth Foundation was registered September 2018.
Okay.
2018. However, I was still running it, personal, doing all I can do, but I can say full structure and all that started. Why we looked out for partnership started 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
4 years ago. Because in between, I had to take care of my mom.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of breaks in between.
Right.
But it was registered 2018, and
Okay. So what's
yeah.
been your strategy for funding the NGO?
So my strategy is that I have for my business is personal funding. That has been the major funding. Then, for people that, while we go for our outreaches, for people that see what we do and like it, they also reach out in their own little way. Then, my friends too. When I have a major outreach, I tell them, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing, this is the budget. Please support us. So for now, that's what we do. So it's my personal funding and little from my friends
Has
and
that been
family.
easy on you?
It has, of course, it has not been easy because um there's so many things I do, right? But and I craft out a particular because right now, as it stands, there's no how we get a call from one of these our communities and say that, oh, a woman needs Rugam injection, and we
Mm,
don't respond.
mhm.
So this is where it's been really hard because I can't sleep if I don't respond. I have to respond. So whether I have funding or not, so I must look for it. I must look for it. So it's not been easy. Although we also tried other sorts of funding, and when we're just about to, there's always something. Oh, we missed a deadline. Um, we missed a deadline. That's my team. That's our own fault. So
Mm,
anyway,
mm,
and there's always criteria. You must have done this. You must have done this for you to get funding. So that has been limiting, though. So
mm.
it's a challenge. It has been a challenge.
So going forward, how do you think, I try to tell people about running as a social enterprise, generating some sort of funding, like revenue to
Yes,
sustain, so what you do is very, very crucial. There has to be some sort of revenue generation, you need to generate funding. So
exactly.
are you thinking like that?
I'm thinking, yes, I am very well. In fact,
Yeah.
because I need to sustain, I'm thinking that. So I've also thought about many things to do. So there's a product I'm also thinking about coming up with in line with it to help us generate fund. So I
Yeah.
have it all started. So I have a product that's coming in line because we talk to expectant mothers. So I'm looking at a product in that line that will help us generate funding that will sustain
The vision.
the vision. Yes. I
Right.
have two products that I'm looking at. There's also a part of the digital aspect which we are still working on, because of our our targets. The community also have limited assets and technology, so that is limiting us.
Mm.
but we are still looking at ways in which we can integrate the digital aspect of the product we are looking at
Mm.
to raise funding for us. So yes, we are really looking into it.
Right.
Really.
Okay, I'm going to go straight to this question right now.
Yeah.
Improving attitudes is key to empowering communities to reach their goals. What kind of what's it called? What kind of policy enforcement should the government apply to help NGOs implement their impact swiftly? Do you understand that question properly?
I understand that question. Yes, I do. You're asking what do I think that the
Yes.
government should do to help NGOs to improve in their impact, right, to the communities. What do I
Yes.
think?
Yes.
So this is I think a lot, I research a lot, I talk to people a lot. One of the things I would say is access to data has been one of our major problems. Now, based on what we do in the Unique Life Foundation, I have twice tried to, because the research is very important for it. Because when I'm telling people, oh, negative, they're like, hey, but there are not many now, But research data is going to give us a true picture. We don't have that. I have tried to reach out to people. They say we do, but releasing it is a problem. I really don't know why there's a problem. So one of the things I feel government should do is to give data, maybe make a policy, improved data. I understand there's a policy, but the people in the corridors of power also have so if government can do an improved data access policy, that could help NGOs because it help NGOs to even demographic data is very important to any NGO. It doesn't help them create legal framework of safe data sharing under privacy rules. This is something that you can hold NGOs for. So if they can do that, that would be really good for NGOs. I also talk about I don't want to talk about funding, but let me also talk about this other aspect because I don't believe funding is number one. I like to say access is very important before funding. In fact, there are some accesses government to create that you might not even necessarily have to raise funds. So the second thing I also talk about is streamlined access to public facilities. The Unique Life Foundation, we want to create an awareness. We also do free tests where we go to every school want to so that you can know because that was what made me understand my blood group. So anywhere we go for outreaches, we carry out a free blood test. For those that don't know, any other, and with that you can also know your blood sugar, every other health thing, health information you get it. So access to public facility. Unique Life Foundation, we want to go to an outreach. We are approaching the government sector. Okay, we want to go to secondary school, public schools, and they're telling us, give us this before you go. You're an NGO. You need to bring 10 crates of this thing for the teachers. You need to, as if, honestly, that weakens our spirit. As if we want to give you people information. You're telling us to give you money to allow us, as if we have money somewhere. So if government can enforce policy that will allow NGOs to use public facilities, public schools, hospital halls, maybe you don't have to pay for halls to, community centers. You can give us that at no cost, at least just to do that. That would help. Government must ensure local officials comply and cannot even deny access. If they can do that, that would really, really help. Then another thing I can also say, they can create policies that would protect NGOs from interference. So all this is around policy, policy, policy. So it's one thing to have a policy, is another thing to enforce a
Yeah.
policy. So if they can also have this policy and also enforce it, it will help us. Then I also go with the funding and grants. We can't over emphasize on these policies for
Mhm.
funding and grant. Have your policy and so enforced. One of the things that NGOs are good at is data. We can keep it, ensure that whatever. No, let's do a co-funding, government and NGOs, because what we're doing is all for the community. And at the end of the overall, so enforce budget allocation for community-based organization in priority areas. You can try to say, okay, health, education, we are doing this with you. And NGOs will also be accountable. They will show impact on what this funding has done. I also say tax incentive for companies that fund NGOs. If government can look into that.
Mm.
Tax incentive for companies that are active in funding NGOs, if they can give them some tax incentive, that would help. That would encourage. Then I like now to tax incentive in terms of, so let me give you an example. Okay, I think that this covers it. Let's say an NGO wants to have a school or do a hospital, just have it. If we're going to be doing anything that is in line with that project, if it can be taxed, the tax can be exempted, something like that. Maybe we are importing um, medical drugs, items that is for the
The
purpose,
NGO. Mm,
NGOs, anything, it can, let's say tax, it's tax avoidance, no,
mm,
that would work. And there's a whole lot. If you want me to tell you a lot, that a lot, but I think this is these are main co-funding with NGO. Then simplify registration and compliance process. Just simplify this registration and compliance process for NGOs. Except, and if you have a policy that follows NGO, you'll be shocked that NGOs would give you the results that a
mm.
government is looking for.
Right.
With
Okay.
results, you see
Mm,
it.
mm.
Impact. Yeah. So I think
I've heard people say they go to communities and even the communities where they bring food and all of that, they actually be the ones to actually give them issues. So community members themselves can actually be a problem.
yes,
How
stakeholders,
can
yes.
government actually bring some sort of enforcement
Hmm.
to, make your impact, access really swift?
So that's why I said policies and enforcement. So if there's
Yes.
a policy that says when you get to your community, we've already gotten approval.
Right.
We, approval. It gives us access, it gives us the power to do exactly what we have said we are going to do. So
Right.
we don't have anybody, any elder stickman, any public holder, in the community, there's also hierarchy.
Yeah.
So we don't have, all the chiefs and all that. They say, give it to us, we give it to them. You need to give us
Hmm.
10 while they give them one. So
Right.
when government policy supersedes and overrides this,
Yeah.
uh, but for but as an NGO, we also know and understand that there's a way to handle this. So
Mm.
it's wisdom demands that we understand negotiations and collaboration. So we collaborate with these people and they know. So we know what they want, but we also let them know that we have government approval on one hand. When they know that
Right.
we have a backing, it's easier.
Right.
It's easier to move in and do what we have to do.
Right. Joy, quickly tell me what kind of collaboration are you seeking for right now?
Honestly, I'm seeking for a collaboration that will come in, that will make me realize, make us, not even me, make us as an organization realize our impact. What is it? We're looking for organization that will come in to say, okay, please, for all the ROGAM injections, we want to provide that. We want to provide that for organ injection for these people. We want a company that will say, okay, for the female reproductive health care, because we do a lot of talks and we also provide some sanitary, not just providing sanitary, also ensure that it's being done. We also want a collaboration that was, and we don't necessarily need funding, money. You can come and handle that part. We do free testing. I was going to say, okay, I'll handle the test part. Anybody that, well, I'm also looking out for a lab collaboration. I can say, okay, everybody coming from the Unique Life Foundation, you can go to this lab and do your test for free. Because one of the things that I'm looking at to do is mobile um, health for the Unique Life Foundation. That's if God helps me, I would like to have a mobile lab because this same mobile lab will also deliver. So I forgot to tell you that this program injection needs to be stored in a cold environment.
Hmm.
This sugar injection, it needs to be stored in a cold environment. You cannot put it in a regular, no, it must be, if you have to carry it, it must have ice,
Mm.
ice with it. So you can imagine that communities that don't have electricity
Mm.
does not have this injection. So that's
Right.
one of the things I'm looking at, mobile vehicles that would help deliver this injection. When we go to deliver, we use ice, put it together, ensure that it's no more than 2 hours delivery, you know.
Right.
So those are the kind of collaboration I'm looking at. Funding is also welcome. Money itself is welcome. However, we're looking at people that are coming to do the acts, deliver. One of the things we're also looking at is blood donations. We are building a community where you have negative people. So when you need blood donation, we can always say, oh, somebody here needs, and you're willing to just go and donate. So it doesn't have to be money. Just
Okay.
going to the hospital and giving your blood is also different forms of collaboration is really needed. So these are the collaborations we need.
Right.
Government, international, even international, globally, because this is critical and it's not said enough. It's
Yeah.
not, the awareness is not there,
Yeah.
because the population they feel is a bit less, but you cannot no, you can't neglect
Yeah.
any sector of the economy because you feel the number is not so much.
Yeah.
So even international collaborations will be really helpful to blow this awareness.
Do you have people you pay that on your pay slip right now on the NGO, or is it
Yes, please.
all entirely volunteering?
No, no, no. I have people that I pay.
Right. Okay.
Yes, I do have people that I
So
pay.
what has it been like getting people to volunteer on your platform?
So funny enough, I had people I have, it's been good.
Okay.
When they see this course, everybody they volunteer. I
Okay.
have people that has been a good one.
Joy Victor, it was really
Yes,
nice
please.
meeting you.
So it's okay to say welcome to the community.
Yes, welcome to the community.
Thank you. I'm happy. I hope to also meet other community members.
Yes, sure,
All
definitely.
right.
So we'll be in
All right.
touch, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a beautiful day.
You too. Bye.